Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We of course have the MW2 beta on the horizon, which is going to be our very first time experiencing this sort of new era of Call of Duty. And because MW2 and Warzone 2 are being built from the ground up together, basically with the same engine, all the same tech, the two games are going to feel very similar. The features and tech used in MW2 is going to be the same features and tech used in Warzone 2 as well. And recently there's been some talk of when the pros, the CDL players, got to play MW2 early and sort of test out the game. Zuma, who of course is a former pro and now covers a lot of the CDL stuff with the flank and whatnot, ended up talking about some things that the pros said about the game. On top of that, we have some specific updates for Warzone 2 that have been leaked or rumored that would be very interesting for gameplay. So quite a bit to break down today. Let's start first with, I guess, sort of the smallest of the three topics, and this is another leak specifically for MW2 though, whereas our other two sort of correlate between MW2 and Warzone 2, but this one has to do with the maps in the game. Now, this also comes from Zuma, a stream that he did recently where he was talking about what the pros said to him after they played MW2 early and got to test the game out. Now, apparently when they tested the game out, they played 4 different maps. 2 of them they really enjoyed. I have heard or seen rumors recently saying that one of the 2 maps that the pros really enjoyed playing was the Grand Prix map, which of course we saw that sort of previewed at Call of Duty Champs with a little fly-through video that they released. So that was one of the maps that they seem to really like and seem to flow well, I guess, for competitive Call of Duty. But the more important part here is that it was mentioned to Zuma that there's going to be 16 maps. Now, they didn't specify if that was going to be right at launch. If that's the case, that's awesome. They also didn't specify what kind of maps those were, whether there were 16 6v6 maps, if that was 16 maps in total, including 6v6, potentially any 2v2 mode that we see. We know we're going to see gunfight as a post-launch update, probably with season 1 we're going to see gunfights, so there would be specific 2v2 or 3v3 maps for that. Who knows if we have like a different face-off mode also live though at launch, so we could see some smaller maps for that. We also know we're going to see battle maps, aka the ground war maps, which are the large scale different pieces of the Warzone 2 map, obviously pieced together for multiplayer, specifically in that ground war style of gameplay. So we already know there's going to be various different modes and map sizes specifically made for those modes. When I got to see MW2 early a little bit ago, Infinity Ward made a specific point to say all the 6v6 maps in this game are built specifically for 6v6. It's not like they're reused between 2v2 and 6v6 and ground war or the battle maps, right? Every single map is designed for a specific amount of players, which is great news. But as far as the 16 maps go, we're not sure the exact details there, if that is initially coming at launch or if maybe we're going to have 12 maps at launch, 4 maps drop as DLC shortly after. If they're all going to be for 6v6 or if that's a mix of all the modes, we're going to have to wait and see there. But regardless, that is pretty good news as far as content goes. That's a decent amount of variety to have, at least early on into the lifespan of MW2. Now, real quick, before we move on to our leaks that encompass MW2 and Warzone 2, quick reminder, if you are new to the channel, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD between MW2, Warzone 2, you name it, it's right here. So feel free to subscribe if you want to guarantee you can always be up to date. And if you enjoy this video, let me know by dropping a like on it. It does really help the channel grow. But like I said, these next 2 leaks or these next 2 rumors, whatever you want to refer to them as, they have to do with MW2 and Warzone 2, each obviously sort of coincide with the other because they are connected. Now, it's also being reported from the pros via Zuma in that stream that I talked about that slide canceling is receiving a major update in MW2, and because Warzone 2 is built off the same engine with the same tech and it's likely going to feel very similar, we can only assume right now that it's also going to see this major update in Warzone 2 as well. Now, of course, in MW1 right now, or MW 2019, I guess I should really say, and Warzone 1, slide canceling is the most popular movement mechanic because technically it's broken. It's constantly refreshing your attack sprint. Players aren't using it for the exact movement in every situation. They're primarily using it because you can move and navigate the map faster, and you can get from point A to point B quicker. Now, sure, sliding into certain situations is beneficial. Breaking cameras around corners and stuff like that is beneficial, but the main source of slide canceling being that main movement is the fact that it gets you around faster. Now, the thing is, it's not supposed to work like that. That attack sprint reset's not supposed to happen. So in theory, slide canceling is a broken mechanic, and the devs have expressed that they'd rather see that fixed, right? Well, according to the pros who told Zuma, so I guess technically according to Zuma, slide canceling in MW2 and theoretically Warzone 2 as well is not going to allow you to play super aggressive anymore. You can't get the benefits of that attack sprint refresh per se. There's not exact specifics on that, but when you slide, your gun isn't positioned in a ready to fight area. It is positioned downwards. If you remember back in Ghosts, it was sort of similar to that as well. So there's this added delay when you go from sliding into a gunfight. So slide canceling with that effect would not really work for aggressive gameplay. If you were to slide into a gunfight, you'd be at a disadvantage because you then have to bring your gun back up from your side, which obviously, that sprint to fire, or that slide to fire, if you will, for lack of better term, would be way worse than simply running around or jumping around a corner with the sprint to fire and the ADS or time to ADS involved there. So it's possible that slide canceling is actually a harmful mechanic for gunfights. At least it could be used for rotation still and for breaking cameras and whatnot, but for pure who gets their sights up faster, you might not be using that much come MW2 and Warzone 2, which would be a huge change to a lot of the engagements. Then to close things out today, we have what I think is going to be very good news for a lot of players when it comes to Warzone 2. And I imagine the same situation is probably being looked at for MW2's aspects as well, between multiplayer and DMZ and whatnot. But recently, the Ghost of Hope, who of course we've talked about several times on the channel, posted a tweet talking about the AI or the bots supposed to be in Warzone 2. If you missed it, there's going to be AI elements in essentially every mode of MW2 and Warzone 2, it's been said. And that's been somewhat controversial. A lot of players are worried that they're going to, dumb down Warzone and have it so that bots are filling up matches, or that there's going to be too much AI involvement. There's also been rumors that in order to get a loadout in Warzone 2, you'd have to go in and kill a bunch of AI bots in a stronghold and complete certain missions just to get your classes, which a lot of players are not really super excited about. Well, Hope tweeted out saying that he's heard that the project leads on Warzone 2 are debating on reeling back and or completely getting rid of the inclusion of AI bots, and he personally would lean heavily on them reeling it back some, including it maybe in areas where they guard certain things, like at Chemical Factory. Now we have some of the AI bots roaming around. They're not really a huge impact on gameplay, but the fact that they might have heard the feedback on not wanting to do these bot challenges to get our loadouts, or having too many AI in a match, making it a little bit overwhelming versus the PvP action. They might have heard that feedback from the leaks and the rumors that have come out so far, and they could be making adjustments there to make it more just classic player versus player gameplay, rather than having an overwhelming amount of AI and bots throughout the map and in certain areas, and even potentially locking certain aspects behind fighting those bots specifically. So that could be very, very good news, depending on if you are a fan of there potentially being bots in Warzone 2, or it could be bad news if you really wanted to see that, I suppose. But at the same time, if they're looking at it for Warzone 2, I imagine they're also sort of weighing their options for Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer as well, because it's been rumored there could be some AI there. DMZ is a little bit different because it's supposed to be PvE and PvP, so we'll have to see there. But nonetheless, we could already be seeing some major changes for Warzone 2 based off of community feedback on leaks and rumors that have already surfaced. But all that being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, or if you have not already subscribed, every single day I got you covered with everything going on in COD. News, updates, loadouts, tips, you name it, you're going to find it right here. So feel free to hit that sub button, turn on those post notifications. And as always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a discount on all Scuf, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.